I once thought that owning everything was the ultimate purpose of existence. But once I reached the peak, I realized I was carrying nothing but hollow shadows. The greatest gift of life is not the numbers we add to our bank accounts, but the heavy burdens we finally have the courage to subtract away. Time stops for no one, yet we spend our best years chasing objects that eventually stop working, leaving us with nothing but the ticking of our own regret. I remember the chaos of the trading floor, the screaming for more, the desperate hunger for status that consumed every waking second of my once frantic life. But look at me now. Amidst the silence of nature, I have found a wealth that no currency can buy and no market crash can ever take away. I am stripping away the layers of who the world told me to be. Each piece of clothing I drop is a heavy chain finally falling off. To be empty-handed is to be truly ready. When you have nothing left to hold on to, you finally realize that the entire universe is within your reach. Like an eagle escaping its golden cage, I have finally stopped fearing the fall. I have learned that the wind only carries those who are light. My journey began with a father who taught me that humor was a shield. He was a brilliant man who chose safety over his own creative soul. I watched him work a job he hated just to provide for us, sacrificing his dreams for a paycheck that the world eventually decided to stop giving. He was fired from that safe job after decades of loyalty. It was then I realized that security is nothing more than a very dangerous mental illusion. We lost our home and moved into a van. We had nothing, yet those were the nights we laughed the loudest under the cold, indifferent stars. There is a strange kind of magic in having nothing left to lose. It forces you to find the joy that exists independent of your physical circumstances. If you can fail at something you don't even like, why not take a chance on doing what you actually love? The risk is exactly the same. I chased the spotlight thinking it would warm my soul. I stood before thousands, hearing their applause, but feeling an ice-cold void growing deep within my chest. The more they cheered for the version of me they saw on screen, the more the real me started to vanish into the shadows of their expectations. I was a prisoner of my own success, a captive to a name that didn't feel like mine anymore. I was drowning in the ocean of fame. I realized that the person they loved was a character I had built to survive. But survival is not the same thing as actually being truly alive. I had to walk away. I had to find the man who existed before the world told him who he was supposed to be in their eyes. We spend our entire lives constructing a persona, a mask we wear so that someone will love us, fear us, or at the very least, notice us. We become slaves to the someone we've created. We worry about what they think, how they look, and whether they are still relevant in the crowd. Every contract I signed felt like a new link in a chain. Each million-dollar deal was a brick in a wall that kept me from myself. We are tethered to our reputations. We are anchored by our possessions. We think we own things, but it is the things that truly own us. Ask yourself this. Who are you when you no longer have a business card? Who are you when the titles and the accolades are stripped away? The masks we wear are heavy. They hide our true face until even we forget what we look like. It is time to let them break. True freedom begins the moment you are brave enough to be nobody, to be a blank canvas upon which the universe can finally paint reality. There is a profound power in being invisible to the ego. When you stop trying to be someone, you finally have the space to just be. The world will try to pull you back into the maze. It wants you to be a predictable shape, a measurable value, a useful cog. But once you taste the air outside the cage, the key no longer matters. You realize the door was never actually locked from the outside. Let the clock run out. Let the titles fade. Let the identity you spent decades building crumble into the dust from which it was originally made. When the storm finally came and took everything I thought I owned, I didn't scream. For the first time in my life, I breathed deeply. The loss of my wealth was not a tragedy, it was a cleansing. It was the rain washing away the makeup of a very long performance. Watch the things you love burn. Not with hatred, but with the understanding that they were only borrowed items in a world of temporary stay. When you lose everything, the fear of losing also disappears. You become invincible because there is nothing left for the world to threaten you with. The bottom is not a dark hole, it is a solid foundation. It is the bedrock upon which you can finally build something that is true. I fell until there was nowhere left to go but here. And here is where I finally found the person I had been running from. Look at the life that grows in the wake of a fire. It is stronger, greener, and more resilient because it knows the value of the sun. Your eyes see differently when they are no longer blinded by the glare of gold. You start to see the miracles in the very small. You realize that you are not what you have. You are the force that remains when everything you have is taken away from your hands. In the silence of the void, I heard a voice I hadn't heard since I was a child. It was the sound of my own truth. I am not afraid of the zero. I am the zero. And from zero, any number, any life, and any dream can be born again. Zero is not nothingness. Zero is the point of infinite potential. It is the womb of the universe where every great idea begins its life. From a distance, our empires are invisible. Our struggles are microscopic. All that remains is the vast, beautiful empty space that holds it all together. The masters have always known that the secret to having it all is wanting nothing. It is the ultimate paradox of human existence and peace. A child doesn't cry when the tide takes the sandcastle. They just start again. They understand that the joy is in the doing, not having. When your hands are empty, you can finally feel the texture of the world. You can touch the wind and hold the light of the sun. I have traded my leather shoes for the touch of the earth. I have traded my penthouse for the ceiling of 1 billion bright stars. Embrace the emptiness. Do not fear the silence. It is in the quietest moments that the universe finally decides to speak to your soul. The tree does not cling to its leaves in the autumn. It lets them go so it can survive the winter and bloom again in spring. Your breath is the only thing you truly own, and even that, you must give back to the air every few seconds to stay alive. When you are at zero, you are at the center of everything. You are the observer, the creator, and the witness to the grand play of life. Nothing is permanent. Not your pain, not your wealth, not even your body. Acceptance of this truth is the only path to real, lasting peace. They walk with nothing, yet they carry the weight of the world's wisdom. They have found the treasure that is buried beneath the layers of ego. I used to need a palace to feel important. Now, a small fire and a warm heart are more than enough to make me feel king. An empty cup can be filled. A full cup is useless. Keep your heart empty of pride so that grace may flow into your life. The return to zero is the return to home. It is the place where you were born and the place where you will finally find rest. People call me crazy because I stopped playing their game, but true madness is spending your life chasing things you can't take with you. I played the fool to make them laugh, and then I played the serious man to make them listen. Now, I play no one at all. There is a divine comedy in the realization that none of it matters as much as we think. We are just cosmic energy having a laugh. I have thrown away my dignity to find my humanity. I would rather be a happy fool than a miserable, well-dressed prisoner of the elite. Freedom is the ability to walk away from any table where love is no longer being served. Freedom is having absolutely nothing left to lose. Once you stop caring about their rules, gravity loses its hold on you. You begin to float in a space that others cannot even see. I am creating my own reality now. Not for profit, not for praise, but for the sheer, unadulterated joy of the creative spark within me. I choose peace over possession. I choose the path that makes my heart sing, even if the world thinks I have lost my very mind. The ego is a loud, demanding child. The soul is a quiet, patient observer. I have finally learned to tell the two of them apart. I have tuned out the noise of the world to hear the frequency of the divine. It was always there, hidden behind the static of greed. The greatest performance is the one you give for an audience of one, your own conscience. Everything else is just a show for the blind. I am standing at the edge of a new day. The shadows of the past are long, but the light in front of me is stronger. I have nothing to prove anymore. I have nothing to hide. I am just a man, standing on a beach, grateful for one more breath. The journey to zero was long and painful, but it was the only path that could have ever brought me truly back to my home. Do not be afraid of the empty hand. Do not be afraid of the quiet room. These are the spaces where God finally finds you. You are more than your bank account. You are more than your failures. You are the infinite light that remains when the lamps go out. Welcome back to the beginning. Welcome back to the essence of who you were always meant to be before the world got its hands on you. Go forth with empty hands and a full heart. The world belongs to those who have the courage to let it all go for love. Thank you for joining me on this journey. Now, go out there and truly live. The zero is waiting for you to begin your story.